Does it show live?
Yeah, it's streaming.
Yes.
1 second. I've lost my Zoom screen here. There we go. Does everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm trying to find the other items there, Sean.
Yeah, they're right before the closed session stuff.
All right. You can go, Sean, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Pat.
We can go with item number 7, which is the consideration of other projects. I'm going to have Sean talk about 4th and Greenfield.
Thank you. Yeah, this is just a general, just to kind of show you the area of 84th and Greenfield. Towards the upper left of the screen is where Ogden has recently completed Element 84, and they were very successful. And they've noted that they'd be interested in doing another project in West Allis, and in fact in this area. So really just they haven't approached us with any details on it yet, but just something to stay tuned on. This shows how we envisioned it in the 2030 comprehensive plan. There are many sort of underutilized properties in that area that with the vision in the 2030 comp plan show getting going towards multifamily or mixed use types of uses, and so that's sort of what you're seeing on the screen here. So just something to stay tuned on that maybe we'll be seeing down the line.
On the 68th and Mitchell area, we continue to work with the brewery. Sean and I have been very active in trying to coordinate with our consultant, connecting the development project to various financial institutions. I think we've reached out to 22 different financial groups. And I think this month, whether it's, I think in 2 weeks, they're going to loan committee, possibly 2 banks. So we're very optimistic that after all this, that a financial bank sees through the COVID crisis and sees a rainbow at the end, and we can help this project get kicked off. Also on the Highway 100 corridor, the Baker Square, I think this might have come up in some discussions, it's under contract with Luther Group.
What is a Luther Group?
It's a real estate group development entity. They're working to attract, whether it's one user or multiple users, whether it's a commercial or maybe medical office. They're exploring those type of uses for the site. There has been some interest explored in the site for used car sales. So we're very excited to see that they're thinking a little bit broader and a little bit better in terms of the quality for that site. Trying to advance this. I bring up also on, I think in this area of the National Avenue Quarters listed, the Physicians Trust property. They have reached out to the city indicating that they're submitting this in terms of an RFP package for a Department of Justice site. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully they make a finalist. They would occupy the entire property and reposition it. Other than that, they've been seeing interest from individual tenants looking for parts of the building for use from the Owner Physicians Trust.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Alderman.
And Patrick, yeah, what would the Department of Justice be doing, or don't we know? And I guess one concern I have, does that mean probation and parole? I think that's Department of Corrections, not Justice, but what can you tell us about that?
I don't have many details at this time, and the very questions you're asking are the various ones I've asked the ownership group that is submitting to get information like that to us. he called it a RFP for DOJ, Department of Corrections or something. I apologize if I've mixed the two, but I had those same questions that you had, and I did ask those particular questions, but I've not gotten any feedback to date yet on that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sean, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, this project is moving very quickly. This is the dental clinic that we worked with, the former Expert Auto site, 7030 West National Avenue. So we're very excited to see how quickly this project is moving along, and is going to go from a site that we were forced to demolish to a great 2-story medical building that'll get on the tax rolls and really fit in nicely with the neighborhood. Get some more jobs there, and then increased tax. So it was a very challenging project to get to this point, and so it's great to see it coming out of the ground.
And then lastly is the housing market study. The Common Council has secured this study by Tracy Cross, and Sean has a few updates. So we've had a update meeting with them, and what we've heard so far is very promising.
Yeah. So yeah, they kind of skipped ahead. They're working on all the details and putting the very detailed report together, which will include redevelopment sites and matches for different types of developments for those sites. But the key is what market-wise, what can the city absorb over the next 10 to 15 years, and what they've come to the conclusion of, and what we'll likely see in the report, is that it's due to there not being much multifamily development over the last 10 to 20 years south of I-94. There's a huge need. There's a pent-up demand. The multifamily housing stock is old, and they've come to a number of that you see on the bottom here, which is a massive number, much more than higher than at least what I thought it would be. That we could take on up to 2,000 units over the next 5 years. And that doesn't include just West Allis. That's the West Allis, Greenfield, Greendale area, sort of the south of 94. So this study will put us in a good position to continue to work with developers and target sites and find good matches. And if developers see this market demand, it helps move things along quicker. We're certainly seeing that interest, even before the study's done here. There was also another note of, north of 94 with Wauwatosa, comment about how little has been in the multifamily realm has been built south of 94. North of 94, Tosa's had, 15 multifamily projects over the last 8 years. This article that just pasted in here, you probably saw you could have seen it in the paper maybe yesterday. This is a project. This is actually Cardinal Capital is a part of this project that you see. A partnership with Bethesda, and so that Wauwatosa continues. It's not like they're stopping, and that actually helps us. It's raised the level of rents, and then we are lucky enough to sort of piggyback onto that, and it puts us in a very good position. And that's one of the things we'll probably see in the conclusion of the market study, which we hope to be done by the end of the month. The other thing is the for sale housing. Just a note. How quickly houses have turned over in the for sale market in West Allis. 24 days on average here. 72 days is the national average. So they also see an opportunity there.
And lastly, the Highway 100 corridor, National Avenue corridor, and also some of our 70th Street development. There's an RFP out by the state of Wisconsin for, I believe, a new crime lab. And a number of people have inquired about asking our community about sites for this type of use, whether it's in the Highway 100 corridor. And we've submitted a packet of various sites to a developer today to explore for this opportunity. West Allis is right in the crosshairs of the area that they're searching. So we hope to maybe look at that. It's a 100,000 square foot building. It's a $75 million project. So with the expansion, but the problem with this, they've walked away multiple times from sites on this, as well as it takes a few years to get through the state process to approve the project. So
Patrick, didn't we work aggressively to land this project about 10 years ago?
we've tried aggressively through developers multiple times. I think the last time this was announced, it was in Wauwatosa and it was Vanguard, and it was a site that didn't even meet the RFP requirements, but the state selected that site. They said they didn't want a brownfield site, it couldn't have contaminations, and they picked a brownfield site in Wauwatosa, and we're working with Vanguard partners. So a group reached out and asked for sites, and another group, probably 2 or 3 groups have inquired about this, and I believe even Cobalt Partners might be submitting for Alice Yards for this type of use. So it would fit great into one of our TIF districts or a new TIF district.
Could we move back, Mr. Chair, and just get an update on the motor casting site?
What I have for motor casting is that I understand the building will be raised in February. If it's raised, it's in a much better position for development, and there has been some interest in the past by looking to see if we could get commercial or multi-story contemporary housing in that area. I know it's going through a rezoning process currently, but I know there was some communication of the city providing some assistance with the demolition. I have not heard that recently from the property owner, but they did communicate that their goal was to have it raised sometime this February, leaving one part of the site. I don't know if I put a picture in here of that site. No, I forgot. There's a small kind of industrial building that was a separate building, more for warehousing. And it has some unique truss inside in terms of for the roof line. And it's very similar to the space the Gauge occupied on South 70th Street. So it could be repurposed into something cool or creative. So they're looking to market that property. The rest of the site, the foundry itself, would be raised, and then hopefully we can attract some private development to that site.
Is Joe Kempen managing this project for the owner?
I believe he is, and I've had two recent communications with him, or conversations.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Patrick and Sean on these items?
I move adjournment.
A second?
Karen, I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
all for
Congratulations,
showing up.
Patrick.
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. I
Congrats,
greatly
Pat.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. I know you'll do a good job.
Thank you.
We don't know yet.
He's on probation?